Welcome back to Ballistic Banter, everybody. Friends, family, listeners, viewers, whoever it may be. Episode 4, we got a good one for you today. We're going to be talking about pistols, EDCs, what we choose to carry. Kind of give you an overview, give you some different options. I have my M20 Super Bazooka, which is what I EDC. So I'll be talking a little bit about that, why I chose that over Glocks or SIGs and stuff like that.
It's really nice for concealed carry.
Yeah, you have to wear pants. I'll tell you that. The rocket doesn't fit too well.
He takes the Steven Seagal approach where he just kind of sticks it in his back, on his back waistline, and no one knows it's there.
Yeah, okay. I wish. Dude, if I could get away carrying something like that, so be it. I would. That would be sick. But
100mm high explosive anti-tank round.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. What an EDC that would be, huh? What a self-defense situation that would be. So kicking it off, going to be talking about some of the platforms. I brought 2 of my Glocks. I brought my Gen 5 Glock 19, and then I brought my 19X. So I rotate off carrying both of those, different options for different days, night, stuff like that. So we'll be talking a little bit about that, breaking it down. Matt, what did you bring?
Well, I brought several firearms today. I have my EDC, my Shadow Systems DR920 Foundation Series, and I also have brought some nice little different picks if you are looking for something more budget friendly. I have a Canik TP9 SF Elite. I also have a Glock 43X, and that is a little compact guy that we'll talk about later. And for those that are not a fan of just typical slide stuff, we got a revolver. One of the most simple machines that we can basically get our hands on. But that's a Ruger 38 Special, so I'm looking forward to talking about it today.
Tommy, what do you have with you, buddy?
I've got a variation of the CZ75 platform. Mine's the P01, so it's a little bit smaller than a traditional 7.5 compact, but check quality, check manufacturing. I love them personally, and I can't wait to get into it. Why I think it's definitely better than those nice pieces of Austrian Tupperware that you have left on the desk for us, but we'll dispute that later.
Austrian Tupperware, buddy.
Whatever.
So yeah, I know, whatever. I do like the CZ options though. CZ's nice, man. Those P10s and stuff like that. Oof. The shoot, Tommy, what's that competition CZ? CZ Shadow?
The you're thinking the Shadow 2
Dude,
or
the Shadow.
Those things, my friend. I want to get my hands on one of those really.
I have shot one. They are as crisp as can be. The Checkmate's the Checkmate is overdoing it. Yes, I'm specifically referring to the fact that it's got a bolt handle on it for whatever reason for computing. But
yikes.
Yeah, no, CZ is excellent. I will sing their praises a little bit later. But I think we have a little bit of a schedule to keep, don't we, boys?
Yeah. Matt, what are we kicking it off with? What's first on the agenda, buddy?
So first on the agenda, I think we should all go around for our EDCs and why we carry them. And mine's going to kind of lean into yours more because you were with me when I got mine. So
I remember helping you pick it out, man. Yeah,
but
seriously.
So Garrett, why do you carry a Glock?
I carry a Glock because 1, they're simple, and 2, I'm best at shooting Glocks over SIGs, HKs, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. Again, I like the simplistic aspect of the Glocks. They're very easy to use. There's pretty much no external controls, no safety, no hammer to worry about because the striker fired. And just overall feeling with it, I like the way they shoot. Glocks can be a little snappy, but with practice, breaking it in and whatnot, it's not really going to be a problem. But most of the time, I carry this guy right here, my black one, my 19, the Gen 5. I have the MOS version, which means it's optics ready. So I have a Holosun 508T on there.
Yep.
With suppressor height sights. Has tritium in it, so I can see them at night. Got an extended base plate, so I can carry +5. So I'm carrying 20 +1, flared magwell, and then a 1,000 lumen light on it. So, if it's ever dark, then lighten up that sky with that light. So that's usually what I carry most of the time. If it is a hot day or I'm not wearing baggy clothing and whatnot, I don't want to carry something a little bit bulkier, I'll carry my 19X just because it is pretty much bare bones. A little bit easier to conceal. It does have a bigger frame, but with this base plate on the 19, it pretty much evens out. So I'm basically carrying the same gun, just in 2 different versions. One's tan without a sight, and then one's black with a sight and a light. So yeah, that's what I rotate with. I would say 90% of the time I still carry my 19, even that day, even with the light. So it's just what I'm comfortable with, what I've practiced most with. But go for it. What are you carrying, man?
So now that I actually have my holster,
Yeah.
I'm carrying my Shadow Systems DR920. This is the Foundation series. It comes also with the 508T from Hollow. Well, I got the 508T from Hollow Sun and put that on from my local dealer, and also a Streamlight TLR1 flashlight. This is the biggest size of any of the Shadow Systems that you can get. If the DR stands for duty roll. So if you want to get something a little more easier to conceal, I would maybe consider the MR or XR, or obviously the CR. The CR is their compact version. The cool thing about the DR, though, is, being its full-size duty roll, law enforcement will have a really nice time using these. You can hold them really comfortably. American made. It's basically a Gucci Glock.
It is a Gucci Glock. It's not basically a Gucci Glock.
It is a clone. Yeah, it's a Glock clone, but with a lot of really nice parts. And I would highly recommend it to everybody. It has a sleek black look, threaded barrel, fluted barrel, just about every nice little thing. No safety because it's just like a Glock. But yeah, that's all about it for mine. Tommy, tell us about your CZ.
So my CZ, like I said, is it's a derivative of the 7.5. It's technically a 7.5 P01, so it's about the same size as a 7.5 compact, maybe a little bit smaller because I basically was choosing between this and a 320 compact, a variation of the new M17 Surface handgun the Army just adopted. And I mean, I can't say enough great things about any CZ that I've ever shot. I mean, this thing is absolutely comfortable in the hand, very small. There's not a whole lot to it. Hammer fire, so it actually does have a it has a half cock safety that you can still pull through in a pinch, but you're not actually walking around with the hammer all the way back because I will say this, when it's hammers in full cock, it's a little bit of it can be a very touchy trigger, so the last thing you want is it doesn't have that nice Glock 2-stage safety trigger where you have to pull through both in order to pull it. But so walking around with that half cock is actually a very nice feature on a hammer fire like this. And like I said, check quality. CZ makes fantastic guns. I've shot plenty of them, and I honestly can't sing their praises enough. I've always been a big fan of CZs, and I will continue to be a big fan of CZs. And despite my love to rag on Glocks, to those watching, Glocks are fantastic for what they are and for what you can get them for. I mean, that's one of the best parts about a Glock. Although all things considered, my CZ isn't that much more expensive than just a Glock 19 Gen 4, for example.
How much does that CZ run for, Tommy? Do you remember?
God, let's see. I've had this. I bought this years ago. It was bought as a gift for me years ago. But I want to say after everything was said and done, I think it was $675. The MSRP on this thing was not that bad, even after tax. Really? I mean, they're very, again, the Shadow that Garrett and I were just referencing, that's a competition high-end CZ. But if you're looking for, something cheap and affordable and 9mm, and again, for a very small handgun, then this was about $600.
That's not bad, dude.
It's not that expensive, especially for the quality that you're getting out of it. And again, like I said, I would trust any CZ made gun with my life. They're just
absolutely.
Very well
CZ
made.
Has a great rep.
Very well made. All of the parts are fantastic. I never had any issues with this thing. It's one of my favorite handguns that I've ever shot.
Nice, man. $600, dude. That's not bad because I remember when I got my 19X. Shit, that was what, $650 or something like that, and I know the Gen 5 Glock 19s go for probably somewhere around there too. I bought that one privately, so I didn't pay full price. But dude, $600, that's a great price point.
It was $600 to $650. Like I said, I've had this for years, so I can't remember what exactly we paid for it, but we got it for a fair price, and even now I don't think they're running that much more.
Yeah, no, for sure. And in the grand scheme of things, man, $600 really isn't bad to pay for a pistol. I mean, there's a lot of cheaper options out there. CZ has a good rep, so I would totally trust CZ. I'd rock a CZ any day of the week if I could. I just don't have one yet. Surprise, boys! Look what I brought. No, I wish.
Just reaches
It's a
down in
CZ
his sock.
Shadow. Yeah, pulls it out of my sock. No, yeah, they're
If you could fit a Shadow 2 into your sock, I'd be very impressed.
dude. If I could fit any pistol into my sock, I would. That
I don't
would
know, you could fit a high
the
point in
ultimate
there.
EDC. Yeah, I could. Fit
You
a
could-
high point.
you
I
could fit a high point
You
in
know where
there.
I can fit a high point, dude? I can fit a high point in the fucking dumpster. That's where I can.
Where it belongs.
that piece of pot metal isn't stepping foot in my house, dude. Come
What is
on,
it?
man.
What is it? Iron? What is it? Iron slide?
It's literally like cast iron.
It is
bro.
cast iron.
It's actual pot metal.
Okay,
This
they
episode is
did
sponsored
cast
by
iron revolver.
High
They did cast iron revolvers for a reason because the guns could handle it. I don't feel you should ever be shooting 9mm out of a cast
And
iron
9mm
handgun.
with a striker fired,
No,
it's-
no.
No, it's
How
not
about
gonna
how about
work.
this? If you're ever shooting a handgun named the Yeet Cannon from High Point,
Dude, oh my god.
you're best moving on
Matt,
from this show because we were going to show you all the alternatives, and if you still go by a High Point, there's no saving you. So
Dude, honestly, man, I might buy a high point just because.
just to blow it up now.
Just to
You
blow
would-
it up. Just so I can
Garrett,
put it at
you
like
would be you'd be better off buying that 7.62 Derringer.
oh
The single,
my
the single.
God, dude.
You know what I'm talking
Those
about?
things
Brandon
have, yes,
Herrera
I
did a
know.
video.
I forgot what they're called, man, but those things have some serious problems. But they make like a 5.56 barrel for it. They make a 7.62 barrel for it. What else?
Yeah.
I think there's one more.
300 blackout.
No, dude, if it was a 300 blackout, I'd be all about it, bro. I'm a total 300 blackout fanboy, and I know both of you know that.
Lame.
I know. Well, man, whatever. That's a whole nother argument that we could get into.
It
We'll
is.
save that one because
Now I do want to kind of go back to your guys' Glocks real quick because again I did actually look at a Glock when I was looking at this like I said I was looking at a 320 compact, the CZ, because I wanted a CZ compact, but they didn't have it, and the guy pulled this one out of the case instead, and I absolutely fell in love. And then the last one I was looking at, I think it was a 19 Gen 4, I don't remember. Now, and my only thing against Glocks is I do not like the ergonomics. I don't know why. I put them in my hand, and I don't mesh with them well. CZ, SIG, H&K, Canic, like Matt said, love them all. I just don't.
It's because they contour to your hand more, Tommy. Glock has a reputation, unless it's like a Gen 3 or Gen 4 with the finger grooves. Those finger grooves don't fit everybody's hands.
Yes.
And I have a large hand, so my hands generally don't fit in those finger grooves. Some people love them, some people hate them, but Glocks generally have, a little bit more of an angled grip, and it's just straight, right?
Yep.
The texturing on it's great. Some people love it, some people hate it. Tommy, I can totally see where you're coming though. Is your CZ grip a little bit more like a 1911 grip to where it's kind of just straight up and down, or is it angled more? like a Glock?
So these are actually I know you can't see it, but for the audience watching, so these are a little bit angled like Glocks as well. But the difference is the checkering is not I guess whatever it would be like laser engraved or whatever they do, however they do it. It's not plastic; they're actually rubber and textured, so it's a lot smoother. And they're literally just like, I don't want to say tire. I don't know what they are exactly because I have taken them off when I was taking this thing apart. But no, this is it's a rubber. It's just like a rubber pad basically. So it's a lot. So like when I go to grip it, I get a very strong, very positive grip on it. It contours to my hand a little bit better. It's textured just like a Glock is, but again, it's not because mine's a steel frame. My CZ is a steel frame. I will also say that as well. It's solid steel all the way around, unlike a Glock, which is polymer and a metal slide.
Oh, interesting. So what about just the feeling of a Glock don't you like specifically? Is it just that, that grip, or is it the mushy trigger? The sights?
I have a weird love-hate relationship with Glock triggers because I love the two trigger system that they've got in there. I do love that about Glock triggers. It's another reason why I love Canics, because some Canics have a little bit of a similar system. But I think between the way it feels in my hand personally, that mushy trigger, and I just don't like Glock slides either. Matt,
You don't like the Glock slides, dude? Here's where I'm going to argue a little bit with you on that, Tommy. What don't you like about a Glock slide?
I don't know. I don't like
the.
I'm being nitpicky here. This is me being nitpicky because I've shot a lot of handguns. I don't like the blocky nature of Glocks. It's like picking up a Minecraft gun. I'm sorry.
I get that. No, I get that, dude. Glocks can be very blocky. Unless you get a whole bunch of custom work to it. Shadow systems, thank you. I wish I had that, with your milled out slides and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. The reason I'm going to disagree with you on that is because you can do anything to a Glock slide.
And that was going to be the thing that I was going to say to at least jump to the Glock's defense here is the nice thing about a Glock is you buy it fresh out of the box for a relatively cheap price, and if you've got the money, you can put nice things into it.
You can
Upgraded
put a couple
barrel,
$1,000s worth of gear.
Exactly.
Into that
Now, of course, my personal philosophy is if I'm going to buy something, why spend all the extra money to upgrade it when I can buy it fresh out of the box for a little bit more and have good quality?
Why
now,
spend
again,
that much indeed, Tommy? Introducing the Canik.
No, hold on. We'll get to that. Hold on, we'll get to that.
We'll touch on the
Canik
in a minute.
I'm just
Tommy,
playing.
I totally agree with you, dude. And that's the reason I haven't gotten any framework, any slide work, or anything done to these is because one, fuck, dude, I'm carrying this thing. I don't need that done, right? I mean, it'd be cool to get some framework done by like Boogeyman or Stip Grips, Rocket City Stippling,
Or Boogeyman again.
or Boogeyman Customs again.
Well, and I'm not gonna lie,
them.
it does seem counterintuitive to me that because for example, no one in their everyday life carries a $5,000 H&K Mark 23. No one does that.
Oh,
So
God.
no one.
I don't know why you would carry a Mark 23 in general, dude. That is an offensive weapon right there, bro.
They're so nice. I've shot one. They're so cool. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, for what the guns that we're talking about, what you want to be using them for, there is absolutely, there's not no reason, but realistically, you should not be putting $2,000 into making them nicer than they already are. Like I said, you pull a Glock out of the box, you put it in a holster, and you go out about your day, you're gonna be fine. There's nothing wrong with Glocks fresh as they come.
I'll agree with you
said,
on that, as long as it's revolving around an EDC. I wouldn't do any of that crazy stuff to my EDC unless I had money to just blow. I didn't care about it. But I mean, honestly, man, if you want a safe queen, pimping out a Glock can be a sick way to do it.
I've seen some very nice Glocks.
Oh, dude, they're crazy. Even just buying a Gucci Glock like a Shadow Systems or like a Zev, or sending it off somewhere to get a bunch of custom work done, bro. Some of these Glocks are truly incredible, and it's dude, if I had the money to drop on it, I totally would. But I saw this funny meme, Tommy. You've probably seen it too. It's for the people who upgrade up their Glocks, I put polished trigger bars or reduced springs and stuff in there. Threaded barrels. They Cerakote their whole thing, mill their slides, all of the above, right? It's there's this meme because Glock's logo, or not logo, their little mantra or whatever it's called is Glock perfection, right? Because there's nothing you should need to do to these guns in order to perfect it. It's going to work and it's going to run. It's a workhorse. It's called perfecting perfection. If it's your EDC, Tommy, why would you do that, right?
No reason. And I mean, the last thing I will say about Glocks too is it kind of makes me think of the whole mantra that exists about the AK. I mean, you pull it out of the box, you drop it in sand, you drop it in whatever, you pull it out, the gun's going to run fine. Everything about the Glock is just designed to be rugged, reliable, effective. There's nothing more I can say to than that. My personal thing is I just don't prefer to carry them. I've shot them before, I'll shoot them again. It's not my favorite handgun, especially in a market that's so how we say full of different varieties of guns, big,
There's
small.
So many options now, dude. It's crazy. And bro, Tommy, I'll agree with you, man. When it comes down to it, I love my Glocks. Don't get me wrong. It's what I choose to carry. It's what I'm most comfortable with. It's what I practice with the most. But at the end of the day, man, if I had to choose something over a Glock, probably not for EDC, because I'd probably solely choose a Glock for EDC unless it's like a SIG P320.
I love those.
But dude, I'm a total H&K fanboy, bro. I would choose something like that or a SIG over a Glock any day of the week.
I like HK. I also like Walther a lot too.
Walther's nice,
Walther's
bro.
Walther
really
makes
nice.
very.
Dude, my uncle just got a new PDP, like the competition one.
Yeah,
Dude,
unreal.
I
Loves
have
it.
shot a PDP. I have shot a PPQ.
I have a PPQ.
What?
Walther.
Oh.
Oh God, Walther makes such good
I was gonna say, I'm
handguns.
jealous. I still am jealous.
I mean, it's still
Yeah.
It's
The
dude, that thing's
PPQ TAC 4, the PPQ TAC 4 especially is a nice Walther gun, and so is the PDP.
Yeah.
I have a
Again, that
family
is
friend. I have a family friend with the PPK.
Really?
Yeah.
Shot one of those
Wait,
as
maybe
well.
maybe
The
that's the one I have. Which one's honestly, dude? I'm not a huge like Walther fan.
The
Wait,
PPK
which one's the
is
Bond
James Bond's gun.
That's
PPK?
it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a PPK.
The small little,
James
the
Bond.
small little,
Their name's
third,
Bond.
the small little
James Bond.
380,
Yeah.
the small little 380 that they all carry in the Bond films.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what.
That's the one I have. Hasn't
Yeah.
been shot in years. Years.
They're so cool.
It's at the back of my safe right now, dude.
I've actually even got I've got a we have a Walther Creed. We call it Apollo, obviously. That's downstairs sitting in the cabinet. It is it's got an internal hammer, actually. Like, you can see the hammer, like, at the back of the slide, but, like, it's not exposed.
Yeah.
And it's just a fairly semi-big polymer steel slide 9mm handgun, and it's great. It's big. I would never carry that thing. That is either for comp or range shooting just because, but it's a nicely made gun. And that one wasn't all too expensive either. I don't remember what we paid for it, but it was fairly cheap for being Walther.
Yeah. No, I do want to get my hands on one of those new PDPs. I've heard they
so
are
nice.
silky smooth. They look good too, man.
They do. I've held them at the gun shows and stuff too. They're nice. I have no complaints about them.
Grip feels good. I've heard the triggers are awesome in them.
Yep.
They're fantastic.
Walter's awesome, man. I know. Shoot, who got him for his entire staff? Was it Steven Crowder?
Yeah, Crowder
He got him for his entire staff.
His whole staff.
That's right. I wonder what the price points are on those. I gotta check that.
PDP
$649,
last I
think.
checked
not bad.
was it was between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Now I was
thought
gonna
it
say
six-
if you
I thought it was $649. But
Yeah.
Something like that.
Dude, Walter PDP might be a great option. I mean, that's, kind of mid-tier price like a Glock or something like that. It's not going to be a $400 hunk of shit plastic.
Now,
I'm
if
not
you
gonna
want to
mention
be
their names.
absolutely, if you want to be absolutely insane with your carry, you go to IWI and you buy a steel frame Jericho or a baby Desert Eagle in 9mm.
Yeah. Hot take. Here it is, Tommy. I'm not a huge fan of the Desert Eagle.
No, don't worry. This is a 9mm small Deagle. It's more like the Jericho, which was the
gotcha.
Deagle
Okay.
prototype.
for today's surprise appearance,
For today's surprise appearance, Matt just pulled out a nickel-plated,
50 AE.
50
Does it-
AE.
All right, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now. If you are, I'm gonna be polite here, but if you are boneheaded enough to carry a 50 AE Desert Eagle or a 44 Magnum, you should not be carrying.
I
like a
have
bad
a story,
idea.
dude. I have a fucking story.
I'm all
this
about
is
bad
the
ideas.
funniest thing, dude. Okay, so when I had a
All right,
part-time
lay it
job
on me.
when I was in college, right, I worked at a Chevy dealership, and one of the dudes, I'm not gonna mention any names, just in case, but dude, one of the guys, older guy, I guess he was in the army or something like that. I think he was a
Oh
ranger.
no!
Probably-
Oh no!
Probably in like his 60s, dude. Right? He was one of those guys that would always let you know that he was in the military and stuff like that. That he likes guns. He's just very outspoken about it, which there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Bro, this guy, literally, bro. How do I explain him? He EDC'd a 50 AE. I mean, there's no other way I can explain the guy. I'm being dead.
No!
He,
Why?
I swear to God, he didn't appendix carry it. He didn't, have it on his hip, bro, under the arms. He would carry a Desert Eagle under his coat.
So he's
Right?
me, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Are you wearing it right now, Tommy?
He's wearing it.
Yeah, I've got my holster on.
You kill me. This guy carried a Desert Eagle, a 50 AE, bro, for his EDC. He just carried it under.
Man thought he was
course.
Al Assad from
Why would you not?
MW Modern Warfare.
Yeah, why would I not? Why would I not want to, blow through like 2 cinder block walls if I'm defending? What
Look, listen.
where's
There's
the
no
appeal?
kill like overkill.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, multiply that by like 3, bro. A 50 AE.
Yep.
Come on, dog. I wouldn't even know if I could control that in a scenario like that, man.
You get one round
I
off.
can.
I
yeah,
get.
exactly.
I would squeeze off one solid
You can
shot.
until you pull the trigger. Then it's like.
And
all
then I
up
would
in the
have to
air.
catch my breath and say, "Oh my god, okay, I gotta slow down, real quick." And maybe hit this follow up shot. A 50 AE, there's no shot, dude.
It's
No shot. The highest thing I would carry for an EDC is a 45, and even then, dude, I'm so comfortable with 9mm.
Actually-
I can't go. I can't go to it.
well, no, and it's funny you mentioned the 45 because I remember when I was working part time at Kroger here. Guy comes through the line and he's either clearly ex-military or is just very like gun savvy. Didn't know this dude at all, but I'm sitting there at the end of the line getting ready to bag his stuff, and he's open carrying an FN TAC 45.
You had me at open carry, Tommy, because I despise open carry. I truly do.
Yeah.
I think open carrying And a lot of people might disagree with me on this. I think open carrying is one of the dumbest things you can do.
I think it invites a lot of trouble.
Exactly, dude. For a couple reasons. One, dude, if I'm carrying, I don't want people seeing that I have a pistol on my hip or my appendix. What's the point if I'm going to conceal carry? Obviously, it's not concealed at that point. You're open carrying. But still, dude, you know how many videos I've seen on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram of people who are just in gas stations. You know, they're paying for a freaking carton of cigarettes or a pack of gum, right? And someone walks in the door, snatches their pistol and runs because it's on their hip.
Yeah.
They're just flaunting it around. In my opinion, it's one of the dumbest things you can do. Unless you're an on-duty officer, you know, you have to carry it like that, pretty much. But, bro,
well, that was just it. That was just it too. For those who don't know, an FN TAC 45 is a 45 cal, slightly larger frame handgun made by FN. They're great guns. I want one. I really, really want one. And he had this thing tricked out, light, probably a Hollow Sun red dot, maybe a little nicer. I'm not sure. I mean, he already bought the FN. He clearly had money to burn on quality equipment. But I mean, he's in jeans, flannel, tucked in, belt on, gun right side hip, open.
Dude, that makes.
And I'm just looking at this thing like I'm having a weird crisis here. I'm like, oh my god, that is.
Do you want that bag, sir?
Sir, do you want that bag?
Paper,
yeah, and
plastic.
you know, one of the reasons I hate that so much is because I've seen people. You know, Arizona, you can open carry as long you can open carry when you're 18 in Arizona if you really want to. It's not a good idea.
No.
It's not smart.
No.
I wouldn't do it as an 18-year-old.
But being a constitutional carry state, you can.
Yeah, and let me back that up. The only way you can do it as, you know, an 18-year-old in Arizona is, one, if that gun was willed to you, because obviously it's a federal law that you can't buy it unless you're 21.
Right.
So if someone legally transfers that firearm to you as an 18-year-old, then yes. Don't quote me on that, just in case. But regardless, dude, I see people in gas stations all the time open carrying, and it's every single time I see it, it runs through my mind. I'm like, dude, this is the dumbest idea. And at the end of the day, I think what it comes down to is that they want people to see that they're carrying so that they can feel good about themselves.
Yeah, no, it's
I really think that's what it is.
It's partially an intimidation tactic,
100%.
but it's also
intimidation tactic.
more like a braggadocious, like, look at me, look
It's
what I
saying,
can afford.
hey, look how big my privates are compared to yours. I got a fucking gun on my hip, and
Yeah.
dude, you
Well,
know,
but again, like also like you're telegraphing almost two different messages at that point, depending on who's receiving it. Either one, you've got the person who's like, oh god, he's open carrying a firearm, back up, or two, you've got the guy who's like, I can do one of like a million different things here if I can just get that gun off his hip, right? And it just I'm a firm believer in it's like the old God, I wish I had this written down, but it's where the term parabellum in 9mm parabellum comes from. The original phrase patented by the German company was in pursuit of peace, prepare for war. And I kind of understand that mantra in the sense of like the whole idea why we carry is in the fact of if something happens, we want to be able to protect ourselves and the people around us. But at the same time, you shouldn't actively go seeking a confrontation of any description because you're dumb enough to open carry in the first place.
100% agree.
Right.
I'll never open carry.
No,
I truly won't.
Never.
If it's, you know, the cold time of the year and I'm wearing, you know, a hoodie or a baggy flannel or something like I always do, I'd carry on my hip as long as it's covered still.
The only time I'm ever open carrying is when I'm at the Skeet and Trap range down at the place in
What, Rio Salado?
Yeah, Rio
Where we just
Salado.
were?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But that's when my over-under's over my shoulder and it's already broken open and I'm just walking from one station to the next.
Oh, you're literally open carrying.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about your pistol like
no.
DBS.
That was the joke.
Okay, so yeah. For those of you who don't know, I prefer to just go out to the desert and shoot.
Yeah.
One, because I don't have anyone breathing over my neck, and two, because
far from the hip. No, just kidding.
far from the hip.
God.
Yeah, right.
Oh god, he
no,
moved
but
so
it's
fast.
I showed up to the range, and this is no slight against them. I totally understand why they have to do this, but I show up to the range. I'm carrying my CCW, this guy right here, and one, there's shots popping off in the background, just left and right, as there should be. So when I was getting directions to like walk around the corner with the RSO and clear my firearm and have it displayed open with the slide back on my appendix, walking around like that untucked. Bro, I couldn't understand a word that guy was
No.
saying.
No, it was hard to hear.
Yeah, dude, he was like whispering it through the window. You know, I signed the waiver and whatnot, and he goes, "Okay, just leave it there." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Just set it there." Like, what?
See, and
I
you just
touched
wear
my
and
hip,
you
and he
just
goes,
wear
"Whoa, whoa,
earplugs.
whoa!" Like, don't touch it. And I was like, dude, I
I've
can't hear you.
I mean,
man.
I've never seen them bug out like that too.
I
which
literally
is
thought,
nuts.
I was like, I can't hear you, man. I was like, speak up, man.
And for
And he
those
was
who
like,
don't
go
know,
around the
Garrett
corner with
wears
the RSO.
Garrett
What's up,
wears
Tommy?
just foam ear pods. That's all he wears. At
Dude,
the
I'm
range.
deaf as it is, bro. It doesn't matter.
No, it's fine, but that's why I like the headphones that I wear because they've got the white noise playing, so it'll amplify like someone
yeah,
talking
you have the
to
electric
you.
ones, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty
See,
nice.
I have a good pair of electric earphones. I just don't wear them.
But
But
the
I don't
point-
have
but
I don't
that's-
have batteries in them.
Yeah, but we went out this past weekend or whatever to shoot the Mosin Nagant for episodes 3. You know, episode 3's topic, and I put 2 videos up there on our Instagram for people that want to see that. But yeah, no, that was the joke about the only time where I'm ever open carrying anything is my shotgun over my
When
shoulder,
it's over your shoulder,
going
trying
from
to see
station 1 to station 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's kind of get into some alternatives too that I actually have brought with me. So
I was gonna say,
I'm
Matt,
already
walk us
excited.
through
I know,
that
I know.
camp, would
Matt's
you?
excited
already excited.
because he already grabbed it.
I already grabbed it.
Matt,
today.
He's
you are
itching.
the biggest
Canik fanboy.
supporter
I
and
like-
fanboy. No, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it. Dude, Canik makes a great pistol, bro. My uncle has like, oh god, I don't even know. He has a couple of them, but they're great pistols, dude. I've shot yours. I've shot his.
So
Yeah.
so
Go for it. It's
yeah,
your
let me go ahead and break it down because Canik, in my opinion, is probably one of the most just stellar companies that you can get a handgun for at an affordable price. We actually just recommended a friend get his first pistol. It was a Canik TP9 SC.
Eric.
No. Eric has the same model that I have, except his is not tungsten colored. It's like gray or steel or whatever it's colored. So I have the TP9 SF Elite, and just so you know, everything has already been checked and
Yep.
unloaded for every gun before we even started recording. So I'm not going to point at anybody, obviously, but very similar to a Glock. It doesn't have an external safety or anything like that. Has a nice little, steel frame. You got polymer. It has a 2-stage trigger, so you can see. I can put a little picture of it later, but it has a red little trigger guard. So basically, pull the trigger once. Are you sure you're ready to fire? Then you actually pull through with the trigger. Then you fire the
Basically,
pistol.
you have that slack until you hit your brake wall. That
Yep.
wall.
Yep. So this one in particular doesn't come with an optics ready like plate or anything. It does have some good sights on it. They're not night sights. They're not tritium or anything.
You have fiber optic on the front though.
This
That'll
is
light
fiber. This is fiber optic on the front.
Wait, really? Your Canik doesn't have? Interesting.
Yep.
up. It doesn't have night sights, Tommy, but that fiber optic is.
Okay. Well, because
You'll
the
be
thing
fine.
I was getting,
You'll be fine.
because one of the things I forgot to mention is my CZ actually does. I'm sure the camera won't pick
Is
it
it
up, but
tritium?
mine actually has tritium. Yeah, green tritium night sights.
Yes, I got
just in
tritium on
case.
both mine.
Yeah. So one of the the other cool features on this thing is semi cosmetic. I mean, serrations in the slide, so you have an easier time racking the slide for someone that's kind of newer to handguns. Underneath you have the rails, so if you want to put a flashlight on there, you're ready to rumble, and just everything about it. The trigger's really crisp. The mag release button is just
I'll tell you what.
absolutely awesome.
Shooting that Canik makes me realize how different the triggers are between these pistols.
Yep.
A Canik trigger between, the differences on what that feels like versus a Glock or dude, even a SIG, bro, it's night and day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so the biggest thing, though, I think out of everything, well, also you get adjustable back straps and stuff on here, which is really nice. The Canik box. Oh, actually, I'll jump to that in a second. So the biggest thing for me is the price point. So for Glocks and other, traditional, handguns, it runs you anywhere between $550, $850. I got my Shadow Systems for like $875 or whatever. This handgun, the Canik TP9 SF Elite, I got this for $439.
It's a great price, dude.
And
For what
that's
you're
a
getting.
very good
For
price.
what you're getting, it is a phenomenal price. That's not even the cheapest that you can get them for, because if you get them on a sale or you get a different model, our buddy got his for I think it was $389, which is crazy.
Damn, man.
And that's for the SC. But the cool thing about that too is I should have brought the case in here with me. It comes with a holster. It's a it's a
It comes with a holster
standard
for this one too?
Sure does.
Really?
Comes
I
with a
thought that
holster.
was just with the with the competition model. It's
Nope.
Meta, however you say it. Because I know that comes with a holster too. They all do?
They all do.
Dude.
Wow.
Well,
What?
every single one I've seen comes with the holster. I don't know if the one
That's
that
money
our friend
right
got.
there.
Yeah, I don't know if the one that our friend got had one. I think it did. But this one specifically, the TP9 SF Elite, did come with a holster. It comes with a nice hard case. You can slide it over. You can lock it. You can comes with a little cleaning brush and stuff like that, and then just basically all the rest of the standard stuff. Oh, also obviously comes with an extra mag, and I believe it came
One
with
extra magazine?
Yeah, I believe it
Just
came
regular, not extended?
Yeah, this is
What is that, 15 plus 1?
Yeah.
Double stack?
Yep, 15 plus 1 double stack, and it
Yep.
is
Glock 19 mag?
No.
No, I'm saying it's the same as a Glock 19 mag.
Same
Oh,
as
yeah,
same
yeah.
as my
Capacity-wise,
CZ
yeah,
as
but
well.
it's-
That's
it's
not, that's not fitting in a
It's
Glock.
not not a P mag or anything.
Actually, let me see that.
Yeah, no, it's the same. It's
You'd
the
be
same
surprised, bro.
capacity as.
I would be surprised.
You ever seen the video with Mojo and Garantham?
I don't think so.
Where they're running pistol drills on how to like mitigate recoil and stuff like that, and control your recoil. Dude, he shoves a SIG P320 magazine inside his Glock, holds it from the bottom, and it works. You'd be
Wow.
surprised at how some of these
I
work.
mean, you
bro.
can see.
The feed lips on a lot of these.
No, yeah.
On a lot of these.
I
guns
didn't
are
think
similar.
so.
I had a little bit of hope, but
Yeah, but
Um,
ultimately, when you're looking, and also Canik is a Turkish company. They make phenomenal firearms. If you are looking for kind of a more budget level, pistol, definitely check out Canik. I would highly recommend them. Super reliable. Very similar takedown style to a Glock. The only
Yes.
difference is
oh yeah.
instead of bringing it like just straight off, well, I think you can just bring it straight off. But when you're putting it back on, you kind of have to like angle it down and then slide it back on.
I was gonna say,
'Cause
I
we
remember
were messing-
breaking
It's
that
a little-
sucker. I remember
the
breaking that
ones that
sucker
I've
down, and I
cleaned-
had to look at it. I
Yeah,
was
we-
The
like,
ones
why
I've
isn't
cleaned
this
are a little
coming off?
finicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you know what that brings me to the one thing I wanted to my last gripe about Glocks. I hate the pinch takedown system.
Bro, what are you
much.
talking about? It takes
It's
5
so
seconds,
aggravating.
Tommy.
Garrett, will you pass me the other Glock? We're gonna talk about some other.
Oh my
Nicer.
God! Look, Tommy, it's already off.
Oh my god,
Dude.
it's amazing. I can still hate the system even if it's easy, Garrett.
I'll tell you what though, I got big fingers, and
That's
I usually
true.
Keep my nails are really short. Unless you
No.
have an extended latch,
Yeah.
it can be a little difficult. I will give you that, Tommy.
The one thing I also wanted to add. So Matt, I can't speak to your Canik. I did not shoot it when I was out there, but the Caniks that I have shot, I did not shoot it, Matt. I apologize. I shot your Shadow Systems. I did not shoot.
I thought you shot it. Maybe yeah.
See, I've
Zach-
shot Caniks
Zach
before.
shot it.
Zach shot it, but I've shot Caniks before. I've shot a little bit of the larger models, but even on those bigger guns, and I don't know if it was just me personally or the way we had those things set up, the Canik slide is not that stiff either for a striker fire.
No.
No, it's really not. I mean, it's not like, the M&P model that, Garrett, you know what I'm talking about.
Which one? The easy slide?
The easy slide. It's not as
yeah,
buttery.
the 380.
It's not as buttery smooth as the M&P easy slide, but it's
That
not
thing's
stiff.
made differently though. That thing is made
It
to
is.
be extremely easy
Yeah.
to rack. I can literally, I can lock that slide back with one hand.
Yep.
It's that easy.
So one of the other things that we have a bunch of Glocks and Glock clones here, but one of the other things I'd like to mention is Glock's concealed carry models. So you can conceal carry, your 1919X and stuff like that. This is the Glock 43X. This was actually my mom's. And, shout out to Boogeyman Customs because they did some slide work up top where they just put her signature on the top of here. So it looks phenomenal. But for somebody that wants a more like slim profile of a pistol, the 43X is definitely something to consider. Price point is just around the same as the normal. I think it's like $650 still.
That is?
I could be wrong.
I thought they were a little cheaper.
A 43,
they could
actually,
be.
no,
Yeah.
a 43X. I think it depends on where you pick it up from because I've seen
That's
some
true.
in the low.
That's true, but
I've seen some in the 500s. It just depends on the
it's
on the
it's
deals they're
definitely gonna
running.
run still around those Glock prices, obviously. But this is what I recommended to my mom because I have the other one here. We had two Ruger 38 specials. One was a snub that she couldn't like get her hand around, and then the other one's the normal one, which I still have, and I'll grab that one here in a second. But this for her worked so much better. Super easy to conceal. If we got a holster for her, she could just put it. I don't know where she wanted to put it, but could have been wherever. But super easy to rack. For anyone that's I guess a like female shooter or someone that doesn't have like a lot of hand
I'd rock
strength.
a 43X
Yeah.
too, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
For someone that needs an easier
Totally.
time for racking their slides, definitely get that gun. Or we were talking about earlier, the MP
The M&P shield, the easy slide.
Easy slide, yeah.
So dude, I should have brought one of my shields. I'm an idiot for that.
I told you to bring pistols.
Oh, Gary, I'll make you look. I'll make you look worse in about 2 seconds.
What'd you say?
I said I'll make myself look worse in about 2 seconds.
Okay, so I was gonna say one thing I would consider for the 43X is ammo capacity as well. Since it's it's real compact, you're not gonna have a double stack magazine that can carry as much as like a 19 or a Glock 17 frame, stuff like that. So you're only carrying 10+1 as opposed to like something like 15+1. This is 20+1 because of that base plate. But that's something else to consider because of that reduced size is your ammo capacity. But I know a ton of people who carry 43Xs.
Yep.
Dude, they're phenomenal. My hands are a little big for them, so I generally choose not to. But dude, I've been very close to buying one a couple times.
Also, the recoil differences too between your standard 1919X or the 43X. You definitely feel it more with the 43X just because of the way it's built.
It's more snappy. Yeah. And that's another thing to consider too is if you can control that snappy aspect. You said your mom had no problem carrying that, so
no problem.
I can't imagine that would be a huge problem anyways.
I have a funny story about that actually. So this is how we went on the journey of getting this 43X. So we brought in her snub to Sportsman's. Ew.
Oh,
right?
I know this story.
And
audience, don't mind me as I boil over here in anger.
I was with two of my buddies at the time. They know who they are. They watched the show, and we were going in, and this guy is a big hulking guy behind the counter. Very nice dude, but he was like, what you're looking for is you want this Ruger 22, and I was just like,
Ruger Mark IV 22.
I was like,
yeah, right.
Excuse you? And he was trying to like get her to sell him or sell the snub to him, behind the scenes, whatever. And we were like, we're not going to do that.
Switcheroo.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. But he goes, you should get this Ruger 22. You can shoot somebody's eyes out with it. Very, very accurate. And then I was just like,
I'm not amused.
I understand that it's a pistol, but unless
and
you
it
are
shoots a lead projectile.
Unless you are a sharpshooter with a pistol, you're not going to be able to get somebody in the eyes with a 22 like that. Especially not my mom, who had very minimal experience. Right?
You got to have a lot of practice time.
A lot of practice, and also 22s are notorious for jamming up too.
Oh yeah.
So we were just like, no, that's ridiculous. We're not going to do that.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so we went down to JG Gun Sales or Gun Store or whatever in Prescott, and I was like, okay, this is a real gun store. Now we're going to find you something that you're going to like. And we spent a little bit shopping around. She really liked the way that the 43X felt in her hand. She had an easy time racking it. And, the rest is history after that. So,
dude, fantastic.
God bless this gun for existing.
Yeah, seriously. Well, there's a lot of different color variations, too, dude. It's not just this, what is that, stainless?
Yeah.
It's not just that stainless light. You can get them in black. Dude, there's...
Well, it's also a Glock, so you can do whatever you want.
And
exactly,
to the audience...
There's pink, teal, bro, name it. It
doesn't everything.
Yeah.
And to the audience, I was going to say, to the audience watching, if they want something a little bit smaller, God, I wish I had asked to... I'd pull it out of the cabinet before, but and I know a lot of people who carry the Sig Sauer 365.
Dude, I would carry a P365. Dude, the P365
and they make 12
carry,
and
Tommy?
15, and they make 12. He's got an XL, and they've used the 12 and 15 round extended mag. And for those who know what I'm talking about, or for those who don't, this is almost a callback to like the very notion of a pocket pistol. The 365, even the XL, is probably about maybe that big. It's a very small handgun, but the fact that you can get 12 to 15 rounds in it with the extender, so it'll fit in almost anybody's hand, but it's a 9mm full carry, is one of the greatest things I've seen in carry handguns in a very long time.
Yeah, no, those P365, like the X carries or the XLs, dude. When I first found out that they can carry, the capacity that they have right there, Tommy, with those base plates, I was almost shocked because of how small of a package it is with the capacity that it can. Like my uncle told me he has one of those. I think that may be what he carries. A lot of people carry those, dude. Like grown burly men carry these 365s.
But because you almost don't know it, you almost don't know it's there. I mean, it's almost there. It's slightly bigger than those like Sig 938s and 380. Yeah. Those really small looking 1911 clones.
Yeah.
It's I wish I had gone to get it. I should have asked to pull it out before we started today's episode. I'm sorry I didn't. But, I mean, almost... I cannot say enough good things about it because I've shot it a lot. It's a great little handgun. And, again, if you want something small, easy, it's not... Because, again, unlike a Glock or even a 43, this thing is so much... It's very narrow. It's very sleek. Yep. But you're carrying a 9mm handgun, which...
One thing
is
about SIG,
unbelievable.
though, is what a lot of people don't understand. SIG can be a little pricey.
This thing was only, let's see, we paid $630, $620.
Oh,
no shit,
that's not bad.
That's not bad at all, dude.
That's
I was
right,
expecting
right
way
up,
more, bro.
That's right up with the Glock.
No,
right there,
no. You see, but Garrett, you're thinking something like a high-end M17 or a 226 Legion,
Oh yes.
Fantastic guns.
All of the above.
Fantastic guns, but you're going to spend a little bit more. No, the 6365 XL, last I saw them, 600 to 650. I might be wrong. I might be wrong because the market has changed. I have not looked at those in a while.
I don't know where I checked to where I thought it was going to be more than that, but bro, maybe it was.
I'll tell you right now.
Maybe it was a Pimp Daddy version of it. I was
going to say, if you're spending way more.
Yeah, dude, no, it was like $850. I was like, what the fuck, man? But
you're getting
it was probably all pimped out, and you know, it probably had a SIG Romeo red dot and stuff on it. So
I know.
Go figure, you know. Yeah, no, the SIG's a great option too, dude. Donut Operator carries a 365. I know he puts that on his vlog. Shout out Donut Operator 5.0. It's my guy. I'm sure.
You got real upset when you spilled that drink on your Donut Operator shit.
Yeah, I know, and it stained it too.
Spilled a little bit of mead. Oh wow.
I have a little bit of mead, bro. It's like 3 or 4 drops.
Yeah, huge
but
drops.
Dude, it's fucking purple. You know, the shirt's like a very light pink, and it's completely stained now. It's okay though. I'll still rock it.
Write about it all in your new book, Garrett. Wah.
In my new book, man, the life story of Garrett Lil. You know, those SIGs are really good options, man. A lot of people carry those. A lot of people, I don't know how many people carry them now or how well they're selling now, but the M&P shields. You know, we talked a little bit about like the Easy Slide. I had a couple M&P shields. I like them. I'd never carried over a Glock, but the M&P shield was the #1 selling handgun in America for a while, especially for concealed carry. Because one, they're nice and compact. You know, women can carry that all day long. Easy. My mom used to carry one of those. You know, grown men carry it. It's 9mm. It's just a fantastic gun for the price point. Easy to use. Takedown's a little odd compared to a Glock and stuff like that. But
do you know the technology for why it's an Easy Slide?
For the Easy Slide for the 380,
sure, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a reduced recoil spring. There's something else to it. I think the slide's a little bit different than normal.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you what it's made out of, but I barely pay attention to that thing anyways.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact there's a reduced recoil spring, obviously because of caliber and stuff. That's how they can pull that off too. It's a little bit sleeker and whatnot. So yeah, Smith & Wesson. I mean, that's a great price point too. Those shields, I don't know what they're going for right now. Maybe low 500s. It's nothing crazy. You know,
they're not expensive. That's why so many people buy them.
Yeah, and again, I wouldn't carry that over my Glock or like a SIG or anything like that. But fantastic option. I know a ton of people who carry those Smith & Wessons.
So I'm gonna jump into the extreme here for affordability. Not high point, of course. But
I was gonna jump to high point if you did.
Let's start with the T.
No.
Okay, good.
Why? What do you think?
I thought you were gonna mention Taurus. I was like,
no.
We don't. There are two gun companies we do. There are two gun companies we speak nothing but bad about on this channel: Taurus and High Point.
So okay, but what I was going to say, because I actually got this as a gift for my uncle, the Palmetto State Armory,
the dagger,
for
I haven't shot one yet.
for $299. So I ordered it, and
is it a 9mm?
It is 9.
Yes.
It is 9mm.
It's a Glock clone.
Really?
Yep, it's a Glock clone.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. So as soon as I got my hand around it, I was like, this thing is really comfortable.
It feels like a Glock. Holy shit!
Yeah, for $300, it feels really nice. You know, it came dry as a bone and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
but
I remember when that thing came in.
Yeah, because so you can still mess with it just like a Glock. You can put like a RMR cut and all these things on there, and it's not really a huge deal.
This is already cut, isn't it?
Yeah, that one was already cut. That was the SW1 Extreme carry cuts and all the stuff, all the jazz on it. That was like 329 or whatever.
I wonder if that would fit in a regular Glock holster.
It might.
I don't
But
know.
point being,
Is it the same size as a 19 or a 43X?
19.
19, yeah.
Oh wow!
But
And it's $300.
Yeah, for $300.
Really?
And, that's one of the things. There are these affordable, guns that are not high points that you can still go and you can mess around with and make them better and stuff like that. And I think Palmetto has a really good base for if you want to start building something, which is really cool. And,
Or at least get into the game and start practicing.
yeah,
If you don't have a crazy budget to, go blow on a bunch of shit like this, might be a good option.
Yeah.
I know one
All right,
thing
for
that's
the-
different about that dagger is the trigger. It's a little bit more curved to your finger, which
It's a
I don't
little-
like.
yeah.
I like flat triggers. That's just my
Flat
personal
triggers are
preference.
better.
yeah.
But yeah, though, dude, you know who print sheet?
I say
on YouTube?
as my CZ is a curved trigger.
Yeah. There's this guy on YouTube, print shoot repeat. He makes like 3D weapons and stuff like that. I know
Yeah.
he stopped like showing the printing process and stuff like that because he was getting in trouble. But he got a dagger sent to him by, shoot, it was somebody.
Yeah.
But dude, he put a switch on it on the back plate, and he has a video called "Dagger Goes Brr." You know what that means?
Yeah.
He has a full auto dagger, and that
Oh,
thing,
God.
dude, that thing
Oh.
runs, bro.
I bet
is
it does.
Sick. I'd like to.
Okay.
I'd love to do it, but that's a whole nother loophole to jump through.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I don't know how he got that. I mean,
So for
he
the
has to have
just for the
license
sake
for it.
of the fact that we should spare, we should make this point to all the audience members, whether they own one or are even remotely considering it. Taurus and High Point. No reason ever should you stake your life on those guns. I don't care. And for anybody who's played Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, just because they make a revolver in 410 does not mean it's a good revolver in 410.
bro. The Judge.
Yup.
Okay,
There is
okay.
absolutely
Hot
no
take,
reason
dude.
why.
I love a 44 Magnum.
I think every-
absolutely do. I have a Dan and
Harry's
Weston
gun, man.
44 mag.
Nice.
The fact that the judge is a gimmick, in my opinion, Tommy.
It is a gimmick.
Why would I want to shoot a 410 out of a revolver? I wouldn't.
Because I did it in a video game.
What am I gonna do? Am I gonna shoot little 410 buckshot or bird shot, or am I gonna shoot like a little dinky slug out of it? I mean, what was it? You said Black Ops 2, right, Tommy?
Yeah, it's the executioner.
Yeah.
The Taurus Judge it's got to be it's a very similar thing.
Yeah, I get why people have them and stuff like that. Taurus does make some cool revolvers and stuff like that, but when it comes to revolvers, one, I wouldn't carry a revolver.
No.
Not a shot in hell I'd ever carry a revolver. Two, man, I'm going Smith & Wesson, I'm going Colt, Dan Wesson, something like that. All those. all those
better
options.
revolver makers. I mean, nice
Yeah,
swing out
yeah,
cylinders or hell. God, and this is a me thing because this is how much of a nerd I am. I'd get a snub nose 44 Russian #3 top break if I could, or a Webley. I
You
mean,
have
there
a
are
top
so
break,
many.
Tommy?
That thing doesn't shoot and it's in 32 long.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Grab that.
It's
grab
not-
that Ruger right over there. And we'll start talking.
Is
about
that that's your
revolvers.
38, right?
Yep. So this was the first handgun we got for my mom, just to start, because she did not have an easy time with the slides of anything. So,
And that's double action only, right, Mac? There is no
yeah.
you can't pull back the hammer, right?
Or no, you can pull back the.
I was
hammer,
gonna
so
say,
Oh,
I
you
was
can.
like, that's not right.
yeah, no, that is.
I was like,
that's my bad. Yeah,
wow.
so obviously this is the Ruger 38 Special Revolver. Very affordable revolver. Obviously, it's a simple machine. Just load it all up in here. You snap it back, ready to go. Two different ways that you can fire it. Just pull the trigger. It has a harder trigger to pull then, or you just lock back the hammer. You're ready to go.
The term you're looking for is single and double action, by the
Yes.
way.
Yes.
Yeah, and then once you're ready to rumble, just pull the trigger and you're good to go. So that is the overall function, of the revolver. Super simple for someone that has a hard time, grabbing the slide, pulling it back. Revolvers are also a nice touch as long as you're going with a normal human being revolver, not some crazy judge or whatever stupid,
I'm not gonna
gimmick.
eat. I'm not gonna EDC a 410 in my fucking revolver.
Here's the other thing I want to say about revolvers real quick. While I personally, and I know Garrett, you said as well, you would never personally carry them.
Never.
There's nothing wrong with the revolver in the sense of, especially nowadays because the technology is so good, revolvers are some of the most reliable handguns on the market. Especially if you go Smith & Wesson, Colt, whatever, you pull the hammer back or you go the pull trigger, especially if it's brand new, it's going to go bang every time. There's very, very little in the way of that system ever malfunctioning. Because, with semi-automatic handguns, you put different types of ammo in there. Because I know with my CZ, sometimes there are 9mm ammo loads that I've shot that some run better than others. There are a multitude of things that can go wrong in a semi-auto handgun. Whereas a revolver, especially if you just pull the hammer back yourself, like it's going to run every time. And if that's what you want in a carry, that's perfectly fine. It's just something I would never personally use, even as...
Yeah, the ammo capacity difference is truly what kills me. And two, I just don't like the way revolvers feel in general. I'm not going to lie. I can't get that super high grip on this dovetail of like a Glock. I shoot with a very high grip, such a high grip that sometimes my slide doesn't even lock back because my hand's suppressing this slide release. But yeah, no, if it's what you have, then it's what you carry. I get that for, someone who can't handle the snappiness of a semi-auto and stuff like that, because when you're shooting a Glock, like I've taken my little cousins out shooting and stuff like that, and they've shot my 19. I have the Glock 44, which is, 22 version of it. That thing doesn't cycle very well. Back to 22s, what we were saying earlier.
Yep.
But he's what, 13? He's 13 years old. So, at 13, you can handle a 9mm. You can handle a Glock easy. As long as, you're not limp wristing it. But his problem is that the snappiness of a Glock, right? For people who don't have strong wrists, or they just don't have a good grip in general. That's why a lot of women have a hard time shooting some like larger frame Glocks and stuff like that. It's because it's so snappy. It's not gonna cycle the next round in it because of that. Because you're limp wristing it. That inertia is not gonna have that slide go fully back and stuff like that. So that's something else to consider too. All comes down to personal preference. I think.
And that's really what it is for a lot of. And that's what it is for a lot of things nowadays. There are so many good options available on the market, some better than others. But it's whatever the tool you want as an operator to be using and feel comfortable with. Like Garrett said, he is a big fan of Glocks. He trusts his Glocks with his life. I trust my CZs. Matt loves his Shadow systems. And I know people who would say the same thing for SIGs, Beretta, FN 509s, you name it. There are
a couple buddies who carry 509s. Dude, the 509 is a great option. I was going to bring that up earlier, Tommy. The FN pistol options.
The 509C. I've looked at those too. Matt, you were looking at one for a little bit.
Bro,
yourself,
even the 509Ts, the mid-size ones, bro, they're all awesome. They shoot great.
How about we just get one of everything and we're just
how about?
I would love a smorgasbord.
What day is it? Tuesday? Oh, that means it's
that means fuck, man. I got to go get a new gun today, man.
It's like having a suit for every occasion.
Yeah, dude. I have a different pistol for every occasion.
You never know.
FN makes some really good options, and I know
a little bit more pricier.
Not really.
But
not
509.
really.
Oh no, you're right.
509s
are fairly affordable.
No, not
yeah,
really, dude.
Those
it's
are
basically
affordable.
the Glock equivalent. Now, if you're getting something
affordable.
like a 509 LS Edge, their competition one that has a freaking, has some porting and a comp on it and stuff like that. Night sights, it's optics ready. That's a different story. That pistol's shit. What, $1,400?
Yep, it's
Something
more
like
than
that.
it's about the same as a Shadow 2.
It's basically FN's Gucci Glock, right? But I don't know, man. I would have a hard time carrying something that nice. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't care, bro. Like dude, I've got these things are pretty much all scratched up. Like my slide from how many draws I've done in my holster, my finish is wearing off and stuff like that. But this is kind of like a little gripe right here, is for people who carry in a Kydex holster, right, as opposed to like a leather holster on their appendix, hip, whatever it may be, or if you're just a complete absolute Chad, a 50 AE under your armpit, right? Shout out to that guy. But from so many repetitions, it's don't carry something that you're not willing to scuff up. Basically,
yeah.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say, because there's so many people that you see on like Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you're looking at firearms and stuff like that. You can go on like, I rock a tier 1 concealed holster, right? It's Kydex. Mm-hmm. Great holsters. This is pretty much one of the only brands I'll use. That and We the People holsters. They make some good stuff too. Custom molded for the lights, suppressor sights, optics, and stuff like that. But the thing that people don't get with Kydex, is that it's going to wear your finish out after drawing it 100 or so times, right? So like this whole side of my pistol right here, Matt, it's, you know, the front's starting to wear off, but dude, I don't care, right? That's kind of the whole point of an EDC, and that's what a lot of people don't get is they want to buy all these nice ass pistols, like an LS Edge, or even just, you know, they're carrying like, yeah, dude,
Nighthawk custom.
yeah, I wouldn't want to scuff that up.
No.
I would cry.
I mean,
for one.
my CZ right here is getting scuffed from my leather holster because I practice drawing with it all the time.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. In all honesty, man, if you're carrying an EDC, in my opinion, it should be scuffed up from
Absolutely.
you're practicing your draws and stuff like that, dry firing. For the love of God, don't ever practice with a loaded gun in your own house.
No.
You know,
Unless you have the money to pay for the damage.
Yeah, no shit. Unless you have a basement range.
Well, a basement
Kinda like
range
that
or,
guy in
you know,
Australia.
the ambulance right down the street when you shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, dude, seriously. But no, man, and you know, that's something to consider too. Don't buy something you're not willing to scuff up if you're going to EDC it, bro. I got so much sweat and grime on this thing. You know, I get fuzz from my pants inside of that Glock. That's why I always break it down and, you know, just wipe that thing off. Because one, I want to keep it running good, and two, it's gonna get dirty and a little scuffed and sweaty, you know, depending on how you carry it. So that's another potential consideration right there.
So one thing I was actually going to bring up that just came to my mind. Let's go debunk the you'll shoot yourself.
You'll shoot yourself in the nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will, if you somehow ever do that with...
specifically a Glock platform or...
Yes, if you ever...
Yeah, let's not
do this
mention
with
SIG,
a Glock.
even though they got that figured out. Okay.
They did get it fixed. They did get it fixed.
Let
How
me-
it was happening, I
let me
still
grab
do
my
not
other
know.
holster real quick. This is my 19X holster. Hold on.
He's excited.
So,
We're ready.
let me put
We talked about this a lot at the range, if you guys couldn't tell.
here's the thing that people don't get, dude. I have so many people tell me, "Oh my God, you appendix carry, you're gonna shoot your nuts off," right? It's not gonna happen, bro. It's
Yeah,
not
if
gonna
you're
happen.
appendix
And I'm
carrying
gonna
with
show
a
you why.
high point.
And I'm gonna show you why. Right? Clear, good. As it sits in my holster, I carry on the appendix right here.
Yep.
Right. That barrel is literally pointed at my right nut. I'm not gonna lie, my right nut and my femoral artery, dude. That is in the spicy zone right there.
Hey, they have a good relationship with that barrel.
Oh, they have
it's
a good
fine.
relationship. You know, they look
Sunday
up, They look
dinners.
up and they see that 9mm hollow point, you know, that spear gold dot, and they're saying, "Hey, buddy."
Sunday dinners,
Yes.
NFL Super Bowl parties.
Super Bowl parties. It's been there for everything, you know. But, you know, dude, I have so many people telling me that you're going to shoot your leg or you're going to shoot your nuts off. It's not going to happen. I'm going to show you why. Right? Again, clear. Mag drop. The reason that a Glock can't do this is the way it works. Right, and a lot of people don't understand the actual function of a Glock, you know, between like the trigger bar and stuff and the disconnector, the sear, you know, just everything that controls it. So inside your slide, right, if you take this back plate off, right, your firing pin assembly is going to come out. I wish I would have brought a little pick because I would have done it, but I didn't. So once you take this back plate off, you can take your firing pin out, which, you know, you can kind of see the little pin right here and whatnot, and this little sear right here, this disconnector or whatever it's called. Your trigger bar, when you're pulling that trigger, this little guy is going to graze over that, and that's going to depress it. This little button right here is what releases your firing pin, right? So if I were to cock my firing pin back, which it already is, take my barrel out and show you, actually. If I were to take that out, and I depress this little pin right here, right? You can't see the firing pin, can you?
No.
Right? If I do that, firing pin's out now, right?
Yep.
Because I depressed this in, which is what that trigger bar and that disconnector and stuff, that all, you know, connects to it. When you pull that trigger back, it creates that inertia, which depresses this, which allows your firing pin to strike forward because of that extra inertia. And even then, you still need all this to do its work right there to, you know, give it that adequate distance and whatnot and have that actual pressure from the spring to hit with enough power to the primer, right? So that's what a lot of people don't understand is that, I mean, let's be honest, anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
You saw it on the SIG P320s having negligent discharges. That happened, and that's a striker-fired pistol. But, damn, dude, the odds of that happening with a system like this and how safe it actually is it's almost 0 to none.
Right.
I totally just jinxed myself, dude. Next week I'm going to be in the hospital with like one testicle because of it.
Well,
It's not going to happen just because of the way everything works inside of it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not going to happen. And for people who opt into carrying with an empty chamber, I would highly, highly advise you against that.
Yep.
Because one, if you're going to draw, in a split-second decision like that, every second counts.
You're going to revert to your most primal level of training, basically.
Dude, and here's the thing. Unless you practice, racking that slide out of your draw, that's not going to be the first thing that comes in your mind. You're going to think, oh, fuck, man. Point and shoot, right away.
Yep.
Carry with one in the chamber. It's not going to pop off. Unless you're drawing with your finger in the trigger guard, which you're not supposed to do.
You should never.
Carry with one in the chamber because unless you practice racking that slide every time out of a draw, that's not going to be your first instinct. Your first instinct is going to say, hey, point, shoot. And that's one of the reasons I carry Glock is because it's just point, shoot at that point, right? Obviously.
And for those who are worried about, some types of those discharges, that's why you try to find a gun that you would feel more comfortable with. And I want to go back to my CZ. I'm glad you kind of brought this up, Gary, and I referenced this a little bit more earlier in the video, but just to show, clear. So single action, empty, and then I can even pull through on the trigger. But my favorite thing about it is, like I said, I rack the slide, action's back. I click this button here.
What your
now
is that a decocker?
It's a manual decocker, but the cool
my
thing
H&Ks
is
have that.
But the really cool thing is the trigger is not completely disconnected. All it is it's a two-stage trigger, but only the first stage is now disconnected because now I can do that, no problem, and then pull through. Gun can still fire. Yeah. So in theory, I could go this.
You're shooting in double action for your first shot, but if you don't want the hammer back,
decock.
I carry double action.
And then put the gun in my holster and then not have to worry about it. Again, the workaround this is when you go to draw, you never leave your finger on the trigger anyway. That's just common gun safety knowledge. But if that is something that concerns you, the decocker on my CZ is one of the things that I really do like about it because it's just one of those extra safety features that you have if you get in a situation where you get a little bit twitchy on the trigger.
Absolutely. Dude, I know a lot of people who carry hammer-fired pistols and, using that decocker, if you really are paranoid about it, dude, shoot it in double action for that first round, right?
Literally,
especially out of the draw.
It's a little bit. It's
going to be a little bit longer of a pull.
Take-up,
yeah,
but
there's more of a take up. There's more of a pull, but I mean, you're still carrying with one in the chamber. So as long as you know that you're going to have a little bit longer and tougher of a pull for that first round until it gets back in single action, that's just about practice at that point.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're manually having to rack one in.
And it's like I said, my CZ has a very, very crisp, easy single action pull. Requires almost no take up whatsoever, and it's one of my favorite things about it. But again, I love that decocker specifically for the ability to carry one in the chamber, but not have to worry about any potential negligent discharge if I go to rapid pull and throw my finger on the trigger quickly.
Yeah, I have an H&K USP-45 that has a decocker.
Those are so nice.
I knew you'd like that one, huh?
I know someone who had one as well. They're so sick.
It's a Gen 1, too.
Ooh,
that thing,
it's early.
Dude, I love it, man.
I'm pretty sure
I really want a new one, too. But
I'm pretty sure that's the same model that Angelina Jolie used in Tomb Raider. Rock Island Auction just sold them both.
I've never seen Tomb Raider, dude.
Oh, it's so good.
Never seen it, never played it.
Fantastic game series.
He's all pissed off. Dang.
Get out of my house.
I never seen it. You know what? Movie's sick with Angelina Jolie that has some dope ass firearm stuff. Wanted.
Yes.
The Bullet.
Yep.
One that is. It's so absurd, dude. It is so impossible.
Think about.
That's why you just buy an STG with a bent barrel.
Dude, she stands in front of a freaking pig. She's like, curve the bullet, just trusting him to freaking do it. Dude, yeah, absolutely. You shot me. Yeah, no, it's there. I get why they did it. It's a Hollywood movie and stuff like that.
Yeah, because they can't.
I can't help it. It's just something that runs through my brain. I love that kind of stuff. I really do. That cheesy, like sci-fi firearm stuff that they do.
It's kind of like I can't think of the movie.
Just don't buy into it for those of you.
I can't think of the movie, but it's like some stupid cop movie from the 80s, and the good guy and the bad guy are on opposite sides of a roof. They're on the opposite sides of an AC unit on a roof, both with 6-shooter revolvers, and they just keep poking out and shooting each other. They don't reload. It's the mythical bottomless clip-fed revolver.
22 shots from your revolver. How did you do that?
Yeah, it's like
Really
it's like
fast.
it's like the cutscene. It's like the cutscene in Mob of the Dead where they've all got revolvers. It's like count how many zombies they shoot without reloading.
Yeah, dude, seriously. Yeah, that Hollywood stuff, man, it kills me.
It's so
Just-
funny though.
Yeah, just don't buy into it. I think it's funny. It bugs me so bad.
That's why we watch
Like
John
when
Wick
I-
instead.
Yeah, I know. John Wick has some cool stuff, man. All those Terran Tactical firearms. Man, that Terran Tactical Glock, what is it, a 17 that he uses?
I think it's a it's a
Dude,
Glock
dude,
17.
Have you seen the new Sand Viper from Terran Tactical? It's like a Staccato 2011. Yeah, it's
Yep.
a version of it, bro. Holy shit. Look on Demo Ranch's video of it. He went and ran some pistol courses with it, which that's not a gun you would carry on your hip and like run pistol courses, like defense courses, not like competition shooting, because that's made for competition shooting.
Right.
Yeah.
But he ran this thing through like actual like defense courses and stuff, and everyone's just there looking at him like, bro, like
What are you?
you're
doing?
carrying thousands of dollars worth of a single gun.
Yeah.
Scuffing it up and stuff like that, breaking it in, and I'm like, oh my god, like why are you doing this, bro? Those Terran Tactical pistols are sick. And I know they
because
have him
Matt's
using,
a doctor and he can afford to do it.
Yeah, they have him. When does the new one come out?
Wick?
Yeah,
John Wick Chapter 4, next month, right?
End of
Shit, is
March.
it that
End of
close?
March, isn't it?
dude.
Or-
They,
yeah.
Oh,
he
might
has-
be this month. I don't know.
Dude, Terran came out with some really cool new stuff for him. That Genesis
Would you
arms,
care
that
for a
12 gauge.
tasting?
Have you seen that?
No.
The 12 gauge, the semi-auto, the Genesis arms one, dude. That thing is saucy, dude. It's spicy. There's full auto versions of it. Suppressed full auto 12 gauge.
Oh my god.
Yank, dude. Hold on, bro. Yeah. I mean, I could rant about those Terran Tactical guns all day because he is someone that does it right. Between the weapons that he creates or mills out and customizes and stuff for the movies, between like the MPXs and stuff like that. But the way they actually execute it in the movie, dude, Keanu Reeves does 3-gun competition in real life. He's
Yeah.
legit.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he's legit. All those movements and all that crazy shit that he does, that's actually him, bro. He does, look it up on YouTube. He does 3-gun comp in real life, and he is a stud.
That's
He's
insane.
stone cold stud when it comes to that. Yeah, he actually trains for it.
Wish.
Him and Halle Berry, bro. They do it together
Yeah.
at Terran Tactical.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was my little rant. I saw the Terran Tactical weapons in my mind, and I couldn't help myself because I want one so bad. The Combat Masters. Combat Master. For
One day,
those of you,
Jared.
yeah, no shit. For those of you who have a ton of money, Combat Master is it's another form of a Gucci Glock. It's custom framework, custom slide milling, and stuff like that. I mean, there's polished trigger bars, reduced like disconnector springs and stuff like that inside of them. So it's all pimped out. But yeah, if you had a whole bunch of money to spend, order one of those suckers, man. I wish.
Oh yeah.
Couple grand, easy. So
Yep.
But yeah. Back to the holster thing. It's impossible to shoot your nuts off. Man.
Yeah,
It's
no.
no okay.
Don't
I'll rephrase
try,
that.
right.
It's
Don't
not,
try to,
It's
but-
not impossible, but
It's
let
unlikely.
Let me tell you right now. Bro, the odds are almost like 0 to 9, bro. Just from the way the system works, and that's what people don't understand is they don't know
It's-
exactly how it works.
It's nice to have an external safety for like an extra step or extra precaution, but at the end of the day, that could also be something that gets you killed too because you forget to take off your safety. Now the guy closes
Could
the
be.
distance on you, he knocks you out, you're done for.
Could
but
be.
but instead of relying on that external safety, a lot of the times just do best practices. A lot of the times,
This is my
so-
safety.
Yeah,
That's
No,
the only one that I care about.
Just partake in using best practices and never
sure.
put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to fire.
Especially when you're drawing. When you're first getting an EDC, whether or not you're drawing from the appendix, from the hip, however you're practicing, make sure you take it slow first.
Yep.
Right? And that's probably something, since you're going to start carrying appendix, that's probably something to get out there and practice is take those slow draws first, dude. Like when you're first getting into it, the way I did it is I would tuck my shirt in behind my holster so that I wouldn't have to really mess with my shirt first until I got that actual rhythm of how I draw, how I point and shoot and stuff like that. Get that general motion down, and then you start fucking with the shirt and pulling it up like that and actually concealing it. Take it slow. For those of you who are planning on carrying and looking at your options and stuff like that, it's slow is fast.
Yep.
right? You don't have to be a half-second draw from point to shoot, which one, that's probably impossible. I wish I could be that fast. Everyone wishes they could be that fast. It's not, part of the game when you're EDCing is about speed. It absolutely is. But it's about how smooth and how effective your draw is. It's not just, holy shit, I got it out. Now what do I do, right?
Yep. I think it goes without saying,
it's a
but
smooth motion.
I'm gonna say, just to cover all of our bases here, pulling out your gun from your holster, that is a last resort method.
Absolutely.
That you always try to evade,
take a course,
get away, take a course, get your CCW,
take a course. Yes.
Just do your due diligence before you buy a pistol. Just do everything you need to do to get your proper research in, because I can't stress it enough that not being educated for this type of stuff could screw you over in the long run.
It absolutely could, because if you don't know what you're doing, that's your fault.
Absolutely.
100% your fault. It doesn't matter.
Defense.
Exactly. Ignorance is not a defense.
Especially in the world we live in nowadays with so much information.
Even if you are acting in self-defense, a lot of cases that you see, the family of the victim who was robbing you, we're not going to get into all that. They're going to come after you still, right? They're going to come after you. Yeah. Even if you act in self-defense. That's why you have to have all your buttons in place. You got to cross your T's and dot your I's when it comes to that stuff, and really think that shit out.
Even if you're 5'9" like myself, and Jim Bob, who's 6'4", 300 pounds with a crowbar, comes in your house,
Oh, 5'9". Cry me a river, Matthew.
One, study your state laws, because I know a lot of state laws have, stand your ground rules.
Yep.
The castle doctrine.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Know your state laws. Practice. For the love of God, practice. That's what people don't do, is they buy ARs, they buy pistols, whatever they're purchasing. They think, dude, it's badass. And fuck, man, I got a Glock 19X, right?
Yep, I'm good to go.
I ran 100 rounds through it this entire year. I was like, well, shit, man. I ran 100 times more than that, I've ran thousands of rounds through these things already, because it's practice, right? If I'm not going to practice, what's the point of having these? Right, and obviously not everyone has the budget to just blow it on ammo, right? I don't. I wish I did, but you have to be mindful and get out. Maybe even if it's just once a month, go out, practice, get familiar with it, so that way, God forbid, if something ever does happen, 1, you're comfortable with it. 2, you know what to do, and 3, your tail's not between your legs.
And
you're not getting caught
for
in
the
a bad
love
spot.
of God, don't play Fortunate Sons or Welcome to the Jungle on your smart devices when they break into your house.
The lights go dark.
It's funny, it's funny on YouTube and TikTok and whatever, but in a real situation,
it does not look
a whole of a hell lot scarier for you. And
fuck yeah, it's gonna be scary, dude. And that's the thing. That's what they don't think about, man. When you say someone breaks into your house at night, right? Never happened to me. I hope it doesn't happen to me. I really do. I know everyone says, "Oh, fuck, man, I invite people into my house," stuff like that. I wish someone would try.
The door's locked for their protection.
I wish someone would try. Yeah, the door's locked for their protection, not mine. If it was up to me, I'd leave it unlocked.
Yep.
No, dude, man. In all honesty, I know I'm ready if something happens like that, but bro, I don't want someone to come into my house.
No, never. You never do.
I don't want to be in that situation, because 1, that really fucks with your mental game.
Yeah, there's a lot of external factors too, like your dogs or your family or whatever.
It's not even that. It's not even that. I mean, it's the principle of having to defend yourself in a situation like that. It's. I read a book by Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman called On Killing. He has a second book called On Combat. It's about the psychological and physiological effects of that kind of stuff, and it's a very daunting thing. It really is. That's spend as much time as you can on that system. Basically, that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not going to get into all the science and shit like that. Get comfortable with your weapons. Know your state laws. Take a damn course, whether it's just a CCW course. The CCW course that I went through, right? They had like these little laser pistols. They had a Glock clone that had some laser rounds in it. Yep. They had a SIG P320 clone that had one of those laser rounds in it. And they had this simulator, dude. They run you through real life events. Dude, I went through a simulator where I was walking into a gas station, right? This dude starts beating his wife and stuff like that, on the simulator. This is not real, I promise. Getting into an argument, and you can choose which way you want to go. Like, dude, if you were to raise the barrel of that pistol, like you're about to get ready, it takes you on like an alternative course, and basically like your character starts to talk back, and he's like, what the fuck are you gonna do about it and stuff like that, and he gets in your face, and then you got to decide whether or not you want to defend yourself, right? That's the whole purpose of these classes, is to put you in an actual simulated situation and see what you'll do. Because half the time, bro, dude, I would say maybe 3/4 of that class made the complete wrong decision.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to blame them for it, because there was one where like this guy was in a simulator and he was sitting in his car, right? He had that Glock, and someone, I think he rear-ended someone or something like that in the simulator, and the guy gets out of his car with a baseball bat, right? And the deciding factor on whether or not this guy defended himself was whether or not his window was up or down, right? Something as simple as that, because that window being down basically invites him into your personal space, right? There's no barrier. That window's up unless he breaks that window with a bat or something like that. He's banging on the hood and shit like that. That's not a get out of jail free card. Oh, he's banging on my hood, I was scared. No, dude, you have to be mindful of situations like that. If
The law of provocation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. If he's getting into your space and you're genuinely fearful, yeah, man, defend yourself.
It has to be proportionate.
Great.
That is the general rule of thumb.
Absolutely.
The deadly force has to be proportionate. So, there are different arguments for different situations, but one of the things is, he broke into my home, or I'm in my car, he broke my window. He has a weapon. I don't know how far he's going to go. I was in fear for my life. That is one of the biggest things.
And one of the things that they gripe on in the CCW class, and this is, I totally understand why they do this, and I actually kind of applaud them for it, is that in the simulator and a lot of like the situational events that they put you in, is, the person starts moving away from you. Right. Once that threat is taken a step backwards and stuff,
disengage.
He's gone.
You are the aggressor.
Disengage. You're the aggressor at that point. You cannot go after someone like that. And I know we're getting on like a little gripe and stuff, but it ties into the pistols and the CCWs and stuff like that.
You're not going to be out at a gas station with your rifle, right? You're going to be with
unless
your
I'm
Glock.
on the way home from shooting. Yeah, no.
Right. You're not going to bring it in with you either. You're probably not.
Dude.
I hope not. You're going to be carrying your Glock and just trying to go get a drink or something, or like soda or whatever.
It's truly when you least expect it.
Yep, and that's why this is relevant to the conversation, because should you choose to go down this route and buy yourself a handgun for home defense, for personal whatever, your EDC, anything like that, you just need to make sure that you are mentally prepared for that risk.
It's not just owning the pistol.
Right.
It's getting familiar with it, and it's truly preparing yourself, practicing, and thoroughly being ready for a situation. It's not just owning it, saying, I'm going to go buy a Glock because one, I can, and two,
I saw a Glock in Call of Duty.
Yeah, the X12 and the X13 in Call of Duty. I want to protect myself, right? No fucking practice.
Right.
That's the best you can do. Now, like Grantham gripes on it, dude. At the end of every video, get out there and practice. There's plenty of resources, and there really is plenty of resources.
Yep.
Take a pistol class, man. If you know someone in law enforcement or someone who's just familiar with guns in general, go practice. Man, that's all you have to do, right? It's just find something you're comfortable with. Like holster-wise, have you tried out your new Tier 1 holster?
Not yet.
You haven't?
No, not yet. I need to.
Man, what the hell?
We've been busy for the past week, Garrett.
I don't care if you're busy.
Boo.
You see the concern on my face?
Cope.
So for those of you who are exploring CCWs and stuff like that, right? These are both my Tier 1 holsters. It's the same holster. One's for my 19X. I can fit my 19 if it doesn't have the light. And then obviously one's for the light molded holster. Figure out how you like to carry. Get a good holster. Don't buy a cheap piece of shit.
Right.
Whether or not you want to carry leather, Kydex, again, they're going to scuff your gun. Don't freak out about it.
Yeah, it's one good holster versus several crappy ones.
Dude, I paid $130 for this fucking
Yeah.
piece of plastic because it works so well.
Yep.
Right? I've had this thing for a couple of years now, actually. Love it. I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of draws through this thing, and it is just pristine still. But yeah, like, dude, you'll go on these companies like Tier 1s, Instagram, and stuff like that, and you'll see people who are like, your holster scuffed up my Glock, or they scuffed up my SIG. Well, it's like, dude, what were you expecting? One, when you're buying a pistol like this, bro, who cares if it gets a little scuffed? It shows that you're doing what you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
right.
It's like buying a pair of cowboy boots.
Dude, yeah, man. If they're gonna sit
keep
in
your
your
boots
closet,
nice, keep your boots nice, but when you take them out and you rough them up and stuff, it just shows you've been using
what
them.
It's made for.
It's literally what they're made for.
But yeah, explore some good options for holsters too.
Yep, absolutely.
I personally carry with the light. I love Kydex. One, it's light, clips into my belt. I carry it on my front right. They make ones with extra mag holders that are attached to it, so it's kind of on both sides of your front appendix. Tons of good options for holsters out there. Just don't buy something cheap, and if you are going to carry on your hip, buy something with adequate retention.
Yeah,
that's what I have to say about it.
Yep, absolutely. And for my ultimate pistol recommendations, I could not recommend more. Obviously, Canic if you're looking for a more affordable price point, and has the reliability of a Glock too, because it is just absolutely phenomenal. Go to your local dealer, go hold one. And also, obviously, Glock and Shadow Systems and stuff like that. They're some of the most flawless machines I've ever ran.
Smith & Wesson.
Yep.
FN. Go get your hands on as many as you can.
Yep. And the ultimate.
Yeah,
and
it's the only way to know.
And so I think we'll wrap it up. But I think the last thing I'll mention is, if you get a high point, stop watching us.
Stop watching us. Throw it away.
Quite literally.
Rethink your life.
Yeah. Don't.
Melt it down and make
please,
it a cast pot.
Please don't ever buy a high point. Ever.
Here's the thing. The people that buy high points, right? There's two types of people that buy high points. There's the people like, Matt from Demo Ranch and Crispy and all those guys, the Black Rifle crew. They buy those for a gimmick, just to have fun.
They think it's funny.
They want to see how many of them a fucking 50 cal can go through. Because why not?
Yep.
Right? Something like that.
Because they can.
They're doing what it's meant to be. They're meant to be destroyed. Right,
yeah.
At this point. And then there's the people who actually buy them, or we'll say acquire them, because a lot of the people that use high points probably shouldn't be handling firearms. We'll leave it at that. That is a street gun. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, so
it's 100%.
But for those that are looking for their recommendations, those were mine. Canic, Glock, Shadow Systems. Obviously, those are the ones that I have. But there are it's really hard to go wrong.
Oh, for sure.
We're in a really good space with the firearms industry. We have so many nice choices. So
a lot of good stuff that's coming out too.
Yeah, Tommy, what do you have to say for your last little bit? What would you recommend?
I mean, I'm gonna stick to my tried and true SIG, CZ, occasional Walther. I mean, those would be my go-to handguns till I'm blue in the face in terms of
Glock.
You will
Glock.
never.
Get the Glock.
I'm Sean Connery. I recommend the Glock 19.
Yeah. Matt,
but
what's my recommendation? Yeah. What do you think my recommendation is going to be?
Oh, I wonder.
Probably. No. If you want something here,
Keltec.
Keltec. Yeah. Fucking right, dude.
No.
Yeah, right. Keltec has some cool stuff. I get it. I get the appeal of like the DP12, KSG. Those are sick. Some of their other stuff is just whack, dude. They're like a bunch of aerospace engineers on coke. That's
just
literally
sing the praises of Glock so we can wrap this up.
No, it's not going to be the praises of Glock. Yeah, Glocks, if you want something simplistic that's going to run like a workhorse, easy to use, easy to break down, clean, whatever it may be, easy to practice. Thousands of different configurations you can do with aftermarket parts between triggers, trigger bars, sights, optics, slides, framework.
Yep.
Name it. Literally any part of a Glock can be upgraded. Perfecting perfection. So if you want something like that, go for a Glock. If you want something a little bit lower, of a price point and, still simplistic, Smith & Wesson M&P, the Shield.
Yeah.
#1 selling handgun in America for quite a while. The Canic, man, FN 509s and stuff like that. So plenty of options. I know I'm a little biased towards Glock, but
that's okay.
It's just because I carry one. It's because I've spent thousands and thousands of rounds on it. That's what I use now. So, yeah, man, that's my recommendation. Go get your hands on whatever you can.
Yeah, so that'll do it for this episode, though.
That'll do, pig.
That'll do.
That'll do.
So,
how's it going, man? Yeah, no, it's an important topic to talk about. So.
Absolutely.
Hopefully,
if you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble, be sure to comment what you use and what you would like to use, and
if you want a further breakdown on actual like how Glocks and SIGs and stuff work. We could totally do an episode based on that, on how the actual mechanics work, if you're curious about that. So comment what you want to see.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Don't forget to hit that bell.
If you're listening to us on the audio platforms only, thank you for listening. We're really excited to keep doing this. Now we have an actual dedicated studio space, and we're still working on it every time. We're like ironing out one issue, and then another one will pop up. So it's just going to be a little process. But yeah, so
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to buy a gun. Chandler Tactical. I'm on my way. Dragunov. What?
I wish.
Yep.
I wish.
dude, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, that'll wrap it up. So,
All right.
everyone listening, be great. Matt, final word of advice before we leave. Something. Give me something.
Don't buy a High Point. That's the first
Don't
one.
buy. Don't
If
buy
you're-
Taurus.
Yeah, don't buy. Well,
None.
that's not a judge.
That's an iffy
not a
subject.
judge. Not a judge.
Yeah, I know.
But get a nice holster. Get a nice holster, and then do your practice and do your research. That's all
I was
you
gonna
really
say
need.
practice, ladies and
Tommy,
gentlemen.
Slow
bit of
and
advice
steady.
other than practice? Come on,
See
give
me
me something
passes, passes parabellum. In search of peace. Prepare for war, boys.
good. Damn right. I like that. My little piece of advice. Spend more on ammo and training than stocking up on different weapons that you never use.
Yep.
Get out, get ammo, go train. Yada, yada.
All right. I think that's it.
We're good.
We're done.
We're good.
Bye.